Run, boy, they coming on.
What's going on, everybody? Kenny Bomb is in the building, and today we are going to review AEW Fight Forever. Now, this is probably going to be a different type of review than you've ever seen before, but I just got the game 4 days ago, and I didn't have a chance to cut everything up and make it look beautiful like an IGN review. So we're going to do it live, like we always do, but y'all know we do it up, so let's get into it. Let's start off with presentation. Presentation is one of the most important parts of any game because once you pass that title menu, you gotta feel what type of vibe that game is trying to give you. And I feel like that's something AEW Fight Forever does very well, for the most part. But I can say the main menu in this game is absolutely perfect. You got the fun background in the locker room with these tabs at the top of the screen that tell you exactly where you need to go. You don't need to switch over to another screen to find more options. Everything is laid out right in your face. We had to take a step back to shout out this Raiden hat because with that, you can create the most electrifying man in pro wrestling history. Let's get to that. While we're in the shop, let's talk about the shop. As you play the game, you earn AEW cash and you can use it to come in here and buy different costumes, moves, different taunts, even entrances from wrestlers who may or may not be in other promotions. Now, the shop is not only limited to items for your created wrestlers, you can actually purchase unlockable wrestlers in the shop as well. At the start, everybody who's unlockable is not in the shop, but you do have to complete different tasks and those wrestlers will pop up for you to come in and unlock them. Some of them are a bit pricey, but one thing is I never ran out of AEW cash. Now, I did have to blitz this game, so maybe that's the reason. I was playing a lot of matches. I did over 100 matches in 2 days, so hey, maybe I just had a lot of money. But one place AEW did drop the ball on when it comes to presentation is the character selection screen. I feel like they could have done a lot more with this character selection screen to make it more interesting because this is normally one of my favorite parts of the game is to see how the character select screen is going to look. In this case, we just got a lot of different squares with a lot of different wrestlers we scroll through. I just think the presentation could have been a lot better here. So this is really the only place I have to complain about presentation when it comes to this game. Next, we got to talk about a feature that a lot of people were looking forward to, including myself, and that feature is Create a Wrestler. And I'll tell y'all right now, straight out the gate, this feature was not showcased because it's bad. You get to do a lot of things that you get to do in other games like pick your name, pick your favorite weapon, pick your pose, but when it comes to actually creating your wrestler, you get 8 faces to choose from. You can't move your nose, you can't move your mouth, you can't move your eyes up or down. You get 8 preset faces to choose from, and that's it. So if you were hoping to come in here and create Roman Reigns, Swerve Strickland, maybe Tony Storm, go ahead and call up your family real quick and tell them to cancel Christmas because it ain't happening. Now, while you can't edit where the eyes are, you can at least change your eye color. So, I mean, that's something. And if I got to say something nice about the Create a Wrestler mode, I will say this. The hair in this game actually looks really good. I don't know if it's because they didn't have many options. Maybe they just went with quality over quantity, or maybe they took the hair right off of the wrestlers they put in the game and just gave us those options to choose from. I don't know, but this is what we got to work with. Now, while this mode is limited as well, I had a lot of fun with creating an arena. And that's because these arenas are so destructible. You got so many options for things like guardrails, you just don't know which one CM Punk is going to look the best going through. Same with the LED screens. They got a lot of options for us to choose from, and I think CM Punk would look good going through them all if you ask me. But you got different items that you can pick up from the shop, like these beautiful looking globes here you can lay out in the arena. Now, I wish you can get off the stage and kind of interact with them in some way, but you actually can't do that. Another downfall with creating an arena is you cannot upload any logos. So if you like to make your own custom logos in the arenas, you just can't do that in this game. But kudos to them for not completely skipping out on creating an arena. They got a lot of fun stuff for us to mess around with in here. I just wish these things were more interactable like the arenas are. Now we get to the mode in this game that I was personally looking forward to the most, and that is Road to Elite. Does it deliver? Let's talk about it. First, let's talk about how the story starts. So you're in the gym lifting weights and you get a call from Tony Khan. He's like, yo, we got this casino battle royal popping off at the pay-per-view, pull up. You answer, all right, I'll be there. So you get to the casino battle royale and I'm telling you, you have to start off as like number 2. There's 4 people in the ring. Now, I don't know if this is because this is the first match I played. Again, the career mode was the thing I was looking forward to most, so I jumped right in. And when I got into that casino battle royale, you get thrown out of the ring almost immediately. Let's get to that. Not immediately. Now, we had to pause our reel because I got to tell y'all about this casino battle royale. Now, you got 4 people in the ring. Think of it like a Royal Rumble. You throw one man out, another man comes in. But when that man comes in, he's hot. That means he's almost ready to have a finisher. When he gets in that ring, he taunts. If he hits you with his finisher, that's it. Cancel Christmas. It's over because you don't even get a chance. He'll throw you into the ropes. You flip right out. Now, Picture this. Let's say you're on top of it. Now, you got all of these guys in the ring. Let's say you're just throwing them out one by one. Over time, I got good. I was throwing everybody out of the ring back to back. But then you got 3 hot men coming in the ring. That sounded crazy, but just hear me out. You got 3 men in the ring activating their finishers, and you don't have one. Let's say those 3 men are Matt Jackson, Eddie Kingston, and Malachi Black. All have like flash finishers where they don't even have to grapple you. Now, you got 3 of them in the ring with you, all hot because they came in ready with their finishers. You get hit, you get caught in the crossfire even with one of these finishers. No matter if this is the last 4 people you worked so hard to get to the end of that match, if you get caught with one of those finishers, just one, it's over. It's done. You got to start over or you're not getting a title shot, period. Now, I didn't just mention that here because of the match. I mentioned it because it was a very odd way to start the career mode, and I'll explain why in a moment. But right now, let's talk about some of the mechanics in this game. Now, it's probably better for us to do it this way because I can fully break it down for y'all. So, you get 4 turns between each match. Each turn, you get one of these options. You can work out. When you work out, you get some of these points right here, which helps you skill up your wrestler. You can buy different attributes, like you can make your momentum go faster. You can increase your arm power. You can increase your finisher strength, your speed. There's a lot of different attributes you have access to updating. Also, you can get different skills. You can get different buffs. Just a lot of different things that helps you out in your matches. But you can only make these changes to created wrestlers. You cannot make these changes to anybody on the AEW roster. So if you're playing Road to Elite, I recommend your first time doing it with the created wrestler. Otherwise, you're going to miss out on a lot this mode has to offer. Now, when you work out, it's going to drain this overall health meter up here. In order to replenish that, you can go out to dinner. Now, this was something I thought would definitely get repetitive over time, but they always land you in a different city. They show you some different types of food from that city. So it's always interesting. My guy's set up as a jerk, so he always makes smart remarks to the waitress. So I never got bored with this. And sometimes you'll run into different wrestlers while you're at the restaurant. Sometimes it'll kick off stories. You can go into matches on AEW Dark or AEW Rampage just based off of those stories with the wrestlers you meet in here. So this is something that could get repetitive, but they kept it interesting enough for me to have a good time the whole way through. Now we get to the part of the video where I have to admit I was wrong, because I'll tell y'all straight up, I pushed back and said these mini games were pointless and they should not be in this game. But I'll tell y'all right now, and I gotta tell you the truth, these mini games were one of my favorite parts of Road to Elite. I found myself every cycle going to Young Buck's office to figure out what game they had for me next, because every game I played in this was very enjoyable and I wanted to see what was next. The mini games are set up like BTE skits. So you go to the Young Bucks office, they give you a game to play. If you win, you get a bonus. If you lose, you leave with nothing. And the worst part is, after you play the mini game one time, you can't play again. You gotta wait until your next cycle. Never thought that would be a bummer, but it definitely was. But before we get to the story, you might be wondering, how long is Road to Elite? It's only about 20 matches long and you get about 3 storylines throughout your career. But that's just 20 matches if you're blazing through the main story. You do have the option to wrestle on Dark or Rampage, where you can pick up side stories as well. As you can see here, CM Punk lost his damn mind and he came up and challenged me to a match on Rampage for his debut. You know I had to turn it down because at this time I was the AEW champion. And that's another thing I want to get to. If you win the Casino Battle Royal at the beginning of Road to Elite, you get a title match for the AEW Championship, right? After you win that AEW Championship, you never see it again. You don't defend it. It's never mentioned. It's just on to the next story. Pac and the Death Triangle want you to join them. Now, the stories are not groundbreaking. They are very predictable, and the AEW Championship disappeared on me. So the stories might be the weakest part of Road to Elite, but I did have fun with it overall. There is no voice acting in this game, but after hearing Jim Ross and some of the other voice actors, even Excalibur, that's definitely a good thing because it's bad. Road to Elite is nowhere near perfect, but despite all the issues, I did have a lot of fun with it, and I do plan on going through the mode a few more times. Now, let's talk about the most important part of this game, and that is the in-ring gameplay. And I'm glad to tell y'all, this is where this game really shines. They advertise this as an arcade wrestling game, and yes, you do get a lot of that in the lights out matches, but if you're just playing a one-on-one straight up singles match, I would put this game against any other wrestling game on the market. I haven't had this much fun with a wrestling game in a long time. Am I saying this game is perfect? Absolutely not. It definitely has its quirks. One big issue I have with this game is the run. Oh, y'all see the thumbtacks coming out. One big issue I have with this game is the run button. When you press press that run button, there's like a slight delay where they don't take off as soon as you press the button. It takes some time, and then they finally get going. Another thing with that run button is when you take off running, you can't change your direction. If you run straight, you're going straight. If you run diagonal, you're going diagonal. You can't run around like in a circle or anything. You have to go straight, and that's just one thing that really bugs me. Another thing about the game that's kind of odd is no matter where you are in the match, let's say Ponytail Warlow hits you with a nasty body slam. As soon as the match starts and he pins you, it's always going to be a 2 count. Ever since I've been playing this game, over 100 matches, I have never seen a 1 count. Those are really the only things that annoy me with this game, and hopefully they get fixed with updates, but I pretty much love everything else. I love the chain wrestling, I love the skills, I love the buffs each wrestler has, and I love slamming wrestlers through this LED panel. It's just beautiful, and this Lights Out match is my favorite match in any wrestling game. It used to be the Hell in a Cell, but I think the Lights Out match actually takes it because there's so many weapons, and if I get lucky and find some thumbtacks, the match is going to take some time because I got to slam you on those thumbtacks for about 10 or 15 minutes. Now, even though I'm having a lot of fun with this game, we can't ignore the elephant in the room. There are a lot of things missing. We got a lot of wrestlers missing, we got a lot of match types missing, and I know they are planning on adding those things down the line, but we got to grade the game based on what we have today. While we didn't get a cage match, we didn't get a Hell in a Cell style blood and guts match, we did get this exploding barbed wire death match, but it's just pretty much a gimmick match where you get one explosion. After that, you can't get out the ring, you can't get any other weapons, so you take it for what it is. I definitely would say the star of this game is the Lights Out match. But all things considered, I'm having a lot of fun with this game. I feel like AEW and Yukes really have something they can build on with this. When it comes to giving it a final rating, I feel like 8 would be too high because of everything that's missing, but 7 would be too low because the in-ring product is so good. So I'm gonna land on a 7.5. So there we have it. First review in the can. Thank y'all for tuning into this video. Don't forget to drop a like and smash that subscribe button. Let me know what you think about this game when you get it. Bomb Squad, let's get to that.